one, roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Simon Severino, your host, and today my guest is wildlife photographer, entrepreneur, and environmental diplomat. We will dive deep into why nothing is impossible and most of our limitations are just here in our own mind. We are going to talk about our most valuable assets and why failure is a great tool for success and we need to embrace it. Welcome, everybody. Roie Galitz.
Hey, everybody.
Everybody's excited to have you here. Roie, what are you currently creating?
So I got home 2 days ago from Svalbard in the high Arctic, Spitsbergen. And so now I'm in the middle of a polar bear project. And I think when you talk about creating, I think that we create our lives. I mean, this is a way bigger question. And I think that my life is about creation. And I think that every year since 2007, I've created a new company or a new venture or a new something. Every year, something big. Plus, I have 4 kids, so that's also creating life. So I think we are creators.
Wow.
That's one of the essence of life. So I mean, we're creating wherever we go. Now we're creating this nice broadcast, which is also pretty cool.
Wow. I run only one business and have only 3 kids, and that is already like, wow, how is that possible?
Yeah.
So how do you do it? Multiple businesses, 4 kids. What's your secret?
I think it's all about the people you live with and you choose to have around you. And I have a CEO for each of my companies, and they are the ones, them and the team, of course, are the ones doing the hard work. And I could not have achieved what I have achieved without them. So they deserve a lot of credit in what's going on here, as well as my wife, who's a doctor. She's a surgeon, a brilliant surgeon. And yeah, it's all about efficiency. And I call it parallel living. Okay, so you don't live serial, you don't know this and this and this and this, but you do everything simultaneously. I mean, not one after the other. And that's the way it
Wow.
goes.
So how many ventures do you have running right now?
So I did have to readjust because of that little thing called COVID. I'm sure you've heard of it, and which wasn't good for the tourism industry. So I did have to readjust. So right now I'm running 4 different businesses, but I've had more in the past. Not everything succeeds, as we know, but we do our best to make it work, basically.
And so you start a business, and as soon as possible, you install a CEO that
That's
is
not the
not
first
you.
thing. No, it takes a while. It's not like the first thing, like I have a business here, take it. No, it's a baby, okay? A new business is a baby, and you have to help it grow. And once it's, a teenager business, and then it starts to rebel around, and then you have to go through those difficulties. And when you reach to that steady stage of a business, adulthood, then I usually bring a CEO to run things. So I do try to get to maturity of the business as soon as possible, so I can go on do other stuff.
How do
And
you define maturity? Is it a specific revenue amount per month? Is it
no, it's more about
processes?
stability. It's more about stability. Every new business is very volatile. It's rapidly changing, growing. You need to adapt. You need to pivot. You need to help it grow. Marketing, strategy, business plan, and no business plan ends up the way I wrote it in the first place. And the reality doesn't read the script that I write, so I have to adjust it all the time. That's why I hate business plans. They have no connection with reality, at least in my experience.
Everybody,
And
if you're listening right now, and if you are in an MBA or an executive MBA, and they are asking you to write the business plan, take it with a grain of salt. You will never really need it. The moment you have finished to write it, it's old.
And it's irrelevant, yes.
So
But
don't
it makes
spend
you
half a
think.
year on
That's what I
that.
like. I like business plans because they make you think. And every business plan is completely optimistic and it's way off course because again, reality has its own rules. But I think it's a good basis to make you think and go through the process. But just don't stick to the plan. Okay, remember that plans are a basis for a change and not a script that we must follow.
How do you plan your multiple businesses?
So first, I do it one at a time. I don't create several businesses simultaneously. I always look for an opportunity, and I try to have that opportunity around my core businesses and especially my core passion. Because if something's out of my passion zone, I find myself neglecting it, and it won't work. Okay, so I'm a very passion-driven guy because I think that when you're passionate about something, you will do whatever it takes to make it work. Okay, like one of your kids. Okay, you will work day and night and weekends, and you won't stop until you get that result because you're passionate about it. And this is why I only do things within my field of passion. And then they have a greater chance of succeeding. And again, not everything succeeds. You also need to be aware of that. Okay, if you don't try, you don't fail. Okay, but you also don't have a chance in succeeding.
I love this. So there is the zone of passion, and there is the other zone, the mad zone or whatever, where
Yeah.
there is not this intensity. I like it. And actually, if you think of this, yes, what are the things that we are capable of doing for our kids and for things that we really are passionate about? It's above and beyond, right? We are unstoppable there.
Exactly. It's a power multiplier for me. Because I enjoy doing it, and then it's not work. you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I won't do a software company. Okay, I won't do an accounting company. I won't do a law firm. I won't do an insurance. I mean, that's why I have to do within my passion. Okay, and I appreciate guys who do, if that's their passion, do whatever you want to do. I mean, everything's good as long as you're not harming anyone. Okay, but everything's good. So that's my 2 cents on that. So I usually find a niche, an opportunity to grow the business. It could be sideways, horizontal growth, can be vertical growth, can be 45 degrees growth. So, for example, I started my first business was a photography school. Okay, and that business is the core of everything that followed because that was the first, and that school has grown to over 30,000 graduates so far. So it's a physical school, not an online one. And out of that, I created a photography magazine, which ran for a couple of years, and then the revenue from advertisement went down, and I had to close it. And I created a photo travel company because people who like to learn photography, they like to travel and take photos. So I created that travel company that has grown. And I created a photography conference and a photography convention and a trade show. And I created a public speaking school because I love public speaking and I love teaching and I know how to create a school. And that's also something that went on. And then I created a production company because I'm already going out and doing films and doing videos and stills and etc. etc. So that's also something that I'm doing. And then I saw that most of my travelers in the photo travel company are not photographers, which is again ironic, but that's the reality. So I had to pivot again, and I have the photo travel company, and I also created a high-end adventure travel company for the non-photographers. Okay, so that again answers to that niche, which is a 45 angle growth. It's a vertical and horizontal, so you got a 45 degree angle, and that company is based in the U.S. in New York. And so more and more things have emerged, and they are all within that same field of passion, because I didn't want to create a tower. I wanted to create a pyramid, because pyramid is more stable. So you have that core, but then everything is around it, hugging that core, and everything is supporting it. And one business is feeding the other, and there is synergy. So that's the logical explanation to it.
And it sounds quite organic. You were doing stuff, you were seeing opportunities. Hey, there is this need, it's unmet, I can do it. Why don't we start it? And then testing.
And I already have the team, and I take someone from this company and reallocate it to that company, promoting that person. And so, you also have that organic growth again. So also with the people, not just the companies, not just the business.
That's what Elon Musk is doing right now. He has these 5 businesses. He's mainly in one, in Tesla, but he has his teams. He has his AI team that he sends to SpaceX, that he sends to Starlink. And right now he's just buying Twitter. He will parachute his existing team, the AI team, and say, go solve that algorithm. My goodness, get rid of those bots.
Yeah. Well, Elon Musk is doing it way better than I do.
we are all on the same journey, but some have more results, of course, and some have more coherence, and some have more resources. But we are all on the same journey, right? We try to use the resources at hand in the best way.
Yeah.
And we have to think, when do we change something? When do we test? Because there is an opportunity. Do we jump in it or not? And I like your approach. You say, okay, which resources do I have? What's our passion first? What's my team? What is it that our superpowers are? Yeah. And you bring those together.
My team in the photo travel company is doing the operations for the luxury adventure travel company. So it's, again, it all stays within the system. When one company is a customer of the other company, that's a win-win for both because I control all of them. And this is one of the reasons why also I don't like to have partners, because everything is intertwined. And once you have a partner in one company, then they'll start eyeballing. Why are you reallocating resources and changing? And everything has to be more complicated. So I'm kind of a dictator in the business sense, that I like everything to be fast, long-term planned, and with immediate results, while one company helping the other and not fighting the other.
And so you prefer to be a solo founder, because if you had a co-founder, you would have to discuss loyalty issues?
Yeah, of course. And everything else. I mean, some of the travels that I do with the business is not as profitable as others, but I think they have a greater value for the environment. And if I had a partner, they would say, I don't want to invest resources in that trip and that expedition because it's not profitable, but I want to do it. So the hell with it. I want to do it. Not everything has to be about money. That's what I'm saying. And once you have a partner that's looking for money, that's not always a good thing.
I agree. You want to definitely optimize for learning, and that means quick pivots, quick exploration, saying yes and no to opportunities independently of single KPIs. But they might have other profit moments, like knowledge, gaining quick knowledge, or accessing a market.
Well, that's why I believe in corporations, collaborations. I believe in revenue shares. I believe in bonuses. My CEOs are being rewarded according to their business results. So they are kind of my partners, but without stocks.
Yeah. It sounds great. All the superpowers come together, but you don't stop each other in learning fast, in building fast.
Yeah.
And you have brought something to share, that there is one thing that is our most valuable asset. I want to hear everything about it after one word from our sponsors. What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprint's blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review. For more information, head over to strategysprints.com. What's our most
I'm going to be
valuable...
back in 1 second, if that's okay. Can you cut it off for a second? Or?
You're live, buddy. What is our most valuable asset?
Okay, so I think that first of all, it's our network, and of course, and the people we work with. So basically, it's people. People are everywhere. They are the clients. They are our team. They are our allies. And I think that networking is a key ingredient in getting things done. Just a second. I hear my kids there.
Sure.
Just a second.
Sure. And I'm curious what networking is for you. Because for some people, networking is flying to a conference or hanging out in a specific topic. And for other people, networking is having small habits every day. For example, I get emails every day where I get introduced to somebody. So they say, Simon, I want you to meet Lisa. This is Simon's superpower. This is Lisa's superpower. I want you guys to talk. So I'm curious what networking is for you.
Yeah.
Because for some, it's a very specific set of habits, like introducing other people. For other people, it's hanging out in joint venture, masterminds. What is networking for you?
Okay. So sorry about that. For me, networking is a tool to help us do several things. Okay, first, if we need some door opening. Okay, I want to go to a place and I don't know how to get there, and I need access to get in. Then your network can really help you do that. Okay, you know the right person, or you know the right person who knows the right person, and then they can get you the special approval, special permit, the special invite, the special door opening. Second is when I'm dealing with complex projects. Okay, if I don't know how to do something, there's practically always somebody who has done that. Okay, and I can talk to that person, have them guide me on how to do that, and then I can further expand my limits and my borders to go on complex projects that I have never done before, and I grow thanks to that. And another thing is synergy. So let's say I want to do something and you want to do something, and we can both achieve some things that we want to do. But if we collaborate and do it together, we will achieve much more than each of us could achieve independently. That's synergy. Okay, so basically that's how networking is. And everybody knows somebody, and sometimes it's the least expected person. But also in the networking, there are several people who are pivot points. Okay, these are individuals that know a lot of people, and they can grant you access to a lot of high-end network members. Okay, so these are opinion leaders. These are people who are well connected. These are the schmoozers, the people that know everybody. Yeah. Okay, and you get those people, and then they can really help you. And then you say, listen, I want to do an episode on the strategy sprints with Elon Musk, for example. Okay, and that person knows, okay, listen, I don't know Elon, but I'm going to see him in the Gala event in LA or in TED. Actually, I have a friend that was in TED with Elon Musk in Vancouver just a month ago. And then you can, from that to Elon Musk, and then you can have him on the show. That's an example of utilizing a network, which you would never reach Elon Musk, I guess. I don't know. If you were trying to do that on your own. Okay, but that guy can really help you connect. Okay,
and I'm curious. I'm curious. So how do you do it? You go through your CRM or just through your memory and go, wait a moment.
CRM is bullshit.
Who do I ask?
CRM is bullshit for networking, because if you need a CRM, this is for customers. This is not for your network, okay? And the network is growing organically, okay? And the way it grows is by knowing people. So I'll give you an example, okay? I have several examples, but I'll give you one. I was in Antarctica in 2016, and I've met there a fantastic person, and she and I became friends. And she's like one of those schmoozers. She knows everybody. And then she invited me to speak, because she was on the board member of the New York Climate Week. So I came there and gave a talk. There I met another person who's also a pivot point, who knows everybody. And when I was in Miami, he asked me if I want to come to a gala event in Miami, in the Art Basel. I said, sure. And then I met another person at the Art Basel who organized it, and we became friends. And she's an amazing person. She knows everybody. She knows the Pope, and she knows the Saudi royal family, and the Dubai Emirate, and the Emir of Dubai, and she knows the King of Ethiopia. She knows everybody. And she's a fantastic person. And she's one of the best networks I've ever met on earth. And she has her own network and her own little club. And from that, somebody invited me if I wanted to come to Antarctica to be on Eric Schmidt's mega yacht. I said, sure, sounds good. I mean, why not? And there I met another amazing person who now, I mean, everything is connected. This is how a network grows. It's like a network of neurons, okay? And each neuron in your brain is attaching to other neurons. And when a connection is strong, it lasts, okay? And if it's not strong, it doesn't last. But one connected network, one neuron needs to another, connects to another, and it grows and grows and grows. And at the end of the day, you have a brain, okay? And then you have to know how to use that brain, because it's all about give and take, okay? If you're just taking, you are the bad link in that network, okay? If you're taking and giving, and you're receiving, and you're giving, and it's all about mutual benefit and helping each other out of good faith and good energy without even asking. You don't ask for anything in return. That's not a network. That's a business. Okay, you don't ask for anything in return. Okay, what goes around comes around. And this is how a network grows. And from here to there, I'm a member of several very high-end clubs all over the world. And that also another growth of the network, and everything again is connected inside, outside. Everyone knows each other, and that's how it grows. Okay, there are people that you want to keep close in your network, and they are on my favorites on my phone. And there are people who are, I don't want to say less valuable, but in the network sense of the word, there are people who know more people, or more high-end people, or more influential people than others, as a fact, okay? And the pivot points, the pivot people, these are the people who knows everybody. They are the heart of each network, basically. That's the way it goes, from my perspective, at least.
Absolutely. And so when you need a door opener, you post in those clubs, or you call specific people, or you write an email?
Usually I talk to one of my friends who I believe that knows that person. And let's say I have a goal, and let's say that goal is to speak at Davos, okay, at the World Economic Forum. And to speak there, that's a lot of money. It costs about 50,000 euros to speak there. But I don't want to pay that 50,000 euros, which makes sense, I guess. Okay, because I want to talk about environmental issues, which I'm doing everything environmental pro bono, okay, just to make it clear. I'm a global Greenpeace ambassador. I'm a board member for several NGOs on climate change, and I'm doing a lot of that. Again, everything is pro bono, everything is free. So I don't want to invest money in promoting something that I'm doing anyway pro bono. So that's so to speak in Davos, you have to know the right people, and I already know 2 people who can get me into Davos. And now we're talking about getting me to speak there next year, in the next year's summit, okay, in January, I think January 2023. So that's how it goes, okay? You know the people, and if you don't, you just ask, listen, what do you think, Simon? If I want to speak at Davos, do you have any connections there that can help me do that? I mean, that's basically how I do it. I mean, but don't only call people when you need something. That's another thing.
That's, I think it's very
Don't be a
important.
leech, okay?
Like you would be with your friends, right? And
Yeah,
with your family.
exactly. So it's not, if it's just about pure interest. I mean, it usually doesn't work. You have to be also a nice person.
Your third CEO tip is that failure is actually a great tool.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that?
Yeah. So I mean, we've all failed several times in your life. I sure, I don't know, I can't speak on your behalf, but I sure have had my fair share of failures, and each failure taught me something that led me to that success that came later on. Okay, and I have several examples of that, including the photography magazine, which I had to shut down, through New York, which I created Explorers Elite LLC based in Manhattan, and I had to freeze that company because of COVID, and now I'm trying to reopen that now that COVID hopefully is behind us. And but I can give you another example. I wanted to become an ambassador for one of the biggest photography companies, Nikon, and I tried to get to become an ambassador in 2015, and they said no. And I asked them, okay, thank you, I guess, but can I ask why not? And they said, because you don't have enough international credentials. So at that point, in time, I didn't know what's international credentials and what is enough international credentials. Do I need 3 credentials, 10 credentials,
What
100
is
credentials? I don't know.
international credentials?
I don't know what it is. I didn't know what it is. Now I know. Okay, but back then I didn't know. But then I started looking at all of their other ambassadors to see what kind of credentials they have, because apparently it's good enough because they're in. Okay, it makes sense. So
Is it your clients list? What is international credentials?
So credential, it means what kind of achievements you have to show for. Okay, and looking at the other photographers that were ambassadors, I saw that they had a lot of international photography awards. Okay, and a lot of awards. And then until that point, I didn't participate even in one photography competition. And why not? Because it's I was telling myself the same lie that everybody tells themselves. I don't need those awards. I'm not competing against everybody. I'm only competing against myself. I don't need that to feel better. Yada 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 yada. Okay, it's a kind of a procrastination excuse, avoidance excuse not to participate in competition. But now I have to. So I started participating. And apparently, when you start participating, you can actually win. If you don't participate, you don't win. So fast forward, I started getting awards and winning more awards and winning more awards. I've got a nice, oh, it's heavy. And I got a nice collection of awards right here on the shelf. And these guys and a lot of others. Yeah, it's a collection. And so far I have over 140 international awards, including in the Wildlife Photographer of the Year awards, in the Picture of the Year awards, and all of these big, nice, fancy competition awards, which is good. And another thing, they had exhibitions in galleries and museums. I didn't do that because I thought that online people are more exposed to my images rather than in a gallery when you get a few hundred people and not hundreds of thousands. But apparently you need that. So I started doing exhibitions. And then I saw that also I needed publications. So I started working with agencies to have more and more publications. And then I saw that you have to be an ambassador. They are also ambassadors for other companies. So I became an ambassador for several other companies like SanDisk Professional and Lowepro and Gitzo and DJI and other. And then as time went by, I started gaining a lot of credentials that at first I didn't think I needed, but that got me way, way, way further to where I would have gotten if they said yes to become an Nikon ambassador. Fast
That's
forward
the
to
gift of
2022.
failure. They said no,
Exactly.
and you said, okay, but let me learn from this. So what's
Because
missing?
every no, I can sign that declaration. Every no is a potential yes. Okay? Every no means, yeah, it's a no, but if you will grow to that level, it will be a yes. And why is that? Because other people got the yes. Okay? And why did they get a yes and I didn't? Because they were better than me. In what sense were they better than me? A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay? If I'll be better than them, I'll get a yes. So I just need to improve. I need to grow. I need to advance, and that's a good thing. And that's what a no actually is. And no is a very powerful tool for us to grow into the yes.
I love this. Where do you hang out? What's your favorite social media platform?
So I'm everywhere, kind of. I used to like Facebook a lot, but then Facebook algorithm started to have less exposure. So in Facebook, I have 140,000 followers, but I'm getting less exposure than I'm getting on Instagram. On Instagram, I have only 46,000 followers, but it's getting more exposure. So I think that now Instagram and Facebook are both my favorite platforms. I also have a YouTube, and I still don't completely understand TikTok. Maybe I'm too old, but that doesn't really make sense to me. But it's a really growing platform that we need to be on. And of course, LinkedIn is good for other things, for collaborations, for business purposes, because my companies are we are chartering boats in millions of dollars a year, and we have to find good collaborations and good partners for those ventures. So that's LinkedIn is good for. And Twitter is now Elon Musk has it, but Twitter is still not my kind of platform, because it's more about words and less about imagery. And I think that today's communication is way more visual than verbal. And as a wildlife photographer, I have an advantage in that. And I think that you need to go where your advantage is and not where your disadvantage is, basically.
I love this. Who should work with you? Who should contact you, and how can they?
So basically, I'm a public speaker. I give a lot of talks. I do 6 figures a year just by public speaking. So first of all, people who would like to book a talk for organizations, conventions, conferences, etc. But also people who would like to travel, and this is my adventure travel company, to extremely incredible places that practically almost no one else goes to, but do it with nice style. So I just came back from, I told you, from the North Pole 2 days ago, and I'm flying there again. I'm going to be 52 days there in this season alone, just because it's so amazing and there's such high demand. So these kinds of people. So we're taking executive retreats, and we're taking incentives, and we're taking individuals and families, and et cetera, to those places. And even if you don't want to go, but you want to be a broker, that's also something that we do. So we have several people who sell those trips for commission to other people, and they're getting a cut, which is also great.
Roie Galitz, everybody. And if you're looking for him on Instagram, it's Roie Galitz. If you're looking for him, because it's Roy, but it's written Roie Galitz, everybody, so that you really find him. Thank you, Roy, for being on the show, sharing your wisdom, your journey with us. Please come back soon.
Thank you so much.
Hey, if you love what you are hearing, you will love our free masterclasses. Go grab them at strategysprints.com.
What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints, how they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review. For more information, head over to strategysprints.com.